Cool. So I'm assuming we're live, correct?
Here you go. You're live, Yuri.
Okay, excellent. So welcome everybody. Thank you very much for attending this webinar session of the ICT-53 projects entitled Key Outputs from the ICT-53 projects in deploying 5G in cross-border corridor scenarios. So we're very happy to have representatives from all four projects, being 5G Blueprint, 5G Med, 5G Rail, and 5G Routes. And today we will share a bit on the knowledge that we have been exploring from these four projects, and we will go a bit over the future steps on the topic of 5G cross-border corridors. So we will organize this webinar in two different sessions, two different roundtables. The first roundtable will be more top-down view of the four different projects, because we have 5G Blueprints and 5G Rail projects that have just finished this year, and we have 5G Med and 5G Routes, the two projects that we will finish next year. And together we will share a bit on the lessons learned and a bit of the key findings and a bit on the recommendations and the planning for the next year. So as I said, this first session will be very lighthearted, and it will span from 20 to 25 minutes, something like this. And then we will go over to the second session, the more key technical session, where we will dive into some challenges and some recommendations on the different challenges in order to address the deployment of 5G cross-border corridors. And we'll have this second roundtable spanning something from 30 to 35 minutes. And that's it. Here we go. We'll start with the first roundtable. I will let the representatives from all the different four projects introduce themselves. So I will mention them briefly, and please, everybody, just mention, well, I will introduce your name, but just mention your company or your university and what is your role inside the project. Okay, so we will start with 5G Blueprint, where we'll have Eric Kennis as a speaker. Please, Eric, would you be able to introduce yourself very briefly?
Okay, good morning to all. I'm representing 5G Blueprint. I'm Eric Kennis, working at the Flemish Ministry of Mobility and Public Works. What are the main achievement outputs of our project is we focused very much on teleoperation, direct teleoperation. And what we did is we tested this use case in different forms on 3 locations. And we checked how 5G networks need to be adapted for matching all the requirements and all the needs for doing in a correct way teleoperation. So the outcome of our project are, on the one side, technical on regarding the 5G network and everything that needs to be done there. I'm not a specialist in that, so I will not elaborate too much on that. And on the other hand, teleoperation, how we see teleoperation being brought in practice already today, and what is the future of that, and what would be important to secure when you really want to do direct teleoperation. That is in a nutshell the outcome of our project.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much. Then we move to 5G Routes, where we have Johan Hoyers. You will be so kind to introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, so I'm Johan Schoriers from VTT Technical Research Center of Finland, and I'm working in 5G Routes. I'm leading there the work package 1 on user requirements. And I'm involved both in the terrestrial ecosystem and in the maritime ecosystem. So in the terrestrial ecosystem, we will work on this year. We will update the core network and test the solutions in cross-border between Latvia and Estonia. In the maritime ecosystem, we will test. We are testing the solutions first on land, and then in a maritime environment, test both multi-hub and satellite connectivity.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. Then from 5G Routes, we also have John Limaxis. So John, could you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm John Limax from Inlecom. Inlecom is leading the efforts around recommendations that can be derived from project key outputs. Our effort will be on focusing on technical, regulatory, and business recommendations that can facilitate CAM cross-border services and the enabling such services to and enabling new services to be offered as final products.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank
Then
you.
moving on, we have from 5G Rail, Vasiliki Nikopoulou. Can you please introduce yourself, please? Vasiliki, are you there?
Vasiliki cannot join right now. Maybe you can pass to another.
Excellent. Then we move to 5G Met camp, where we have Jose Lopez Luque.
Yes, so good morning, everyone. Happy to be sharing the stage with all 4 projects from ICT-53 calls. So I'm Jose Lopez. I'm from Telex Telecom, and we are coordinating 5G Med project. 5G Med focus basically on achieving a seamless connectivity for different scenarios, both for railways scenario and for automotive in the corridor between Spain and France.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And then finally, we also have Paco Vázquez from 5G Met. So Paco, could you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, good morning. This is Paco. I'm working at the ICT Foundation, leading the V2X research line. And also I'm in the 5G Med project, doing the technical management of the project.
Cool. Thank you so much. I'm not sure if Vasiliki is already here, but otherwise we can just move on to the start of the round table.
Yes, just yeah, she had some technical issue, so she will enter during the table.
Okay, excellent. So then, as I said, this first round table will be a bit on the achievements, the outputs, and the strategic plans for the ICT-53 projects, where we have 5G blueprints and 5G routes that, no, sorry, 5G rail and 5G blueprint that just finished right now this year, and then 5G routes and 5G meta will finish next year. So the first question would be for 5G blueprint, while we wait for Vasiliki, which is, how do you feel about it in the project? What is the main key finding or the main highlights that you could talk about from your final project review?
As indicated, we focused on teleoperation. We defined the requirements for that and everything like that. It was a very learning process because we brought together public authorities, logistic players, and of course the mobile network operators and technicians involved. So it was a very learning project. What came out is that we learned a lot about 5G, that is for sure. We will come back on that later on, but the devices and the modules that we use there, well, we had to manage quite some things for bringing it into practice. That is one thing. What we feel about ending the project is that it's a pity that we have now the momentum for working together on what we think is a very interesting use case, teleoperation, in combination with 5G. And now we are we are finalizing our final reports. The project will end of this month. And one way or another, we are looking forward to means follow-up activities, I would say, in order to continue to that and bring teleoperation in the real world and kick off that in a good way. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you for the summary, and also congratulations. So while we wait for Vasiliki, maybe we can move on to the next question, which is for 5G routes and 5G Met. What are the plans for the next year? Maybe I think March. Exactly. Thank you so much. How do you plan the last year? What is the plan for next year? Maybe we can start with 5G routes.
Yes, Jonir. As I told already, this year we are updating the course so that they would so that we can implement and test for the inter-PLMN handover, and also test also the use cases in the cross-border setting in Valga Valga on the border of Estonia and Latvia. And on the maritime ecosystem, we are testing currently the solution for multi-hab handover in laboratory conditions, and will then first go land and then to the maritime setting with first one and then 2 vessels.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. What is the plan from 5G Met then?
So, yeah, first let me do a recap on the last year, because it's important to set up the outlook for the next year. So we've been really busy deploying all the network infrastructure, and thanks to that, now we arrived to the point that we can start really providing results, and especially on the inter-PLMN handover and all the use cases that are using this to support the seamless mobility. So yeah, basically now we are at the point that we have achieved this level of mature network maturity in order to start delivering all the outputs and all the results that we expect will help the whole community to build on our results and continue developing the camp services for whole European Union.
Excellent. Exciting plans for next year then on both camps. Yes. So we already touched upon a bit on this, but I wanted to focus a bit more on what are the main outputs and the main use cases for each of the projects, to basically provide everyone with a big overview, a clearer picture of each project. What is the main contribution? What is the main use case that they tackle? So maybe we can just continue with this order that we are somehow having, which is we can start with Eric from the 5G Blueprints side.
Yes, as a main output, we had recently a showcase where we demonstrated that we were able to realize seamless handover based on 5G. There was an interruption, I would say, order of 100 milliseconds. It was not visible on the screens when we handed over from one mobile operator KPN to Telenet on the Belgian side and vice versa. That for sure was really a success of the project. We demonstrated it is feasible and it works. On the other hand, all the teleoperation use cases, they were analyzed in depth, and there was also the development of what we call auto docking, docking a truck to a warehouse or something without any involvement of the driver in the car. So this is very important in the field of going to automated mobility, that you also can dock without having a driver in the car. And then, of course, on the side, both on the 5G issues, but also on the teleoperation issues, we have a number of recommendations. We analyzed the business potential of teleoperation based on 5G. We also have a splendid deliverable 3.5 going into depth on the business aspects and the governance recommendations, and how we see the path forward for bringing teleoperation in real conditions on the market. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you so much. While we were talking, I think Vasiliki has been able to enter.
Yes,
So yes.
Apologies to
Excellent.
all of you.
No worries.
It was our configuration. I'm in the office, and I had to do something to appear as outside of the office.
No worries.
Apologies for
No
that.
worries. I have a
Again.
queue of questions for you then.
Okay.
So since everybody presented themselves, but maybe you can introduce a bit on yourself, Vasiliki, on what is your role inside 5G Rail.
Yes, hello again, all of you.
Yes.
So I am in 5G Rail. I'm working with the UIC, which is involved in the specification of this future railway system, FRMSS. And in 5G Rail, I was responsible for what we call the work package 1, which is the definition of test cases, analysis of the results from lab and field tests, and feedback to the specifications.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Also, to recap a bit on the previous questions, you finished the project right now this month, I believe. So, how do you feel about it? Any highlights that you can share with us from the ending of the project?
Yes, yes. We had the final conference last week on behalf of the whole team, because it was a very huge teamwork. The main achievements we have is that today we have prototypes for FRMCS. We start from nothing, I may say, even without specifications, because FRMCS V1 specifications we are creating them in parallel with this project. So we started with assumptions on the specifications, how we think, and today we have prototypes. So the so-called on board FRMCS gateway, which is the equipment that has to be installed in the train in a way to give access for all applications to the FRMCS system ecosystem. So we have this one. We have the known GSMR applications, such as the TCS, the ATO, the voice applications today that are compatible with our FRMCS specifications. And now all these things will become products, and we are in a way proud of that. Of course, the other main topic is that finally we could prove that 5G and MCX, which are the building blocks for us, are the suitable constituents of this FRMCS system. And we have done border crossing also, which is not, we will explain probably in the following, which is not very easy for us in our context with in addition to the 5GSA, the MCX part. Also some of the let's say of our tests, the cross-border is one, the voice railway emergency call is another, and the interworking with the existing legacy system, which is also an important part because we live with this system for some years, are pre-standard ones. So it was an outcome of 5G rail.
Excellent. Thank you so much, and thank you for the nice overview of the different outputs. Thank you so much. So then I think we can move on to 5G routes to talk a bit about the main outputs on the main use cases that you tackle in this project.
Okay, we have two tracks in the terrestrial ecosystem. We will mainly work. One of the main outputs is the CAM service platform, so which allows to transfer vulnerable network functions from which the CCAM applications are using from when they move seamlessly from one network to another. And this will be demonstrated for several use cases, including platooning with low latency video transmission, with infotainment services, and in situational awareness functionalities. In the maritime, the main focus is on testing the multi-hop solution, and that also will be tested for some use cases, also one related to gaming, to video transmission, and on the tracking of logistic goods.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And then lastly, from the 5G Met project, what will be the main outputs and the main use cases?
Mm-hmm. So it's important to note that 5G Met, although the focus is obviously on the 5G connectivity, we are here leveraging several technologies besides 5G. So we are also using satellite, another type of radio connectivity for the railways use case, also edge computing, and orchestration and federation of the services. And for example, this last point will allow us to move the service dynamically from one country to another when we have mobility, when the user is crossing the border. So really this combination allows the user to cross the border in a seamless way and also to migrate the services at the same time. And I think this is a very important output of the project that, as I was saying before, will be a bit blueprint for later developments, and also to push policies of the European Union in this direction to support all these kind of use cases.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. We have a bit of 5 minutes left, which leads us to the last question on this roundtable, on this introductory roundtable, which is, what are your recommendations to close the project? So this is targeted to 5G Blueprint and 5G Rail. So based on your lessons learned on finishing the project, what can you recommend 5G Med and 5G Routes to do in the last year? So maybe we can start with Eric again.
What we learned in this project, as indicated, we had public authorities, logistic players, and MNOs together, and also solution providers, of course, is that it will be the business that drives 5G deployment. That is a key lesson. I mean, the technology is valid, it provides lots of benefits and so on, but finally there is a cost coming with that. And we understood that from the mobile operator side, there is a clear intention to go on with the story, but there is a need for realizing business and for having a return on the investment made. That is very clear. And we do think that teleoperation provides a very interesting use case. We need 5G for that. And there is clearly an interest for supporting teleoperation. On the other hand, you can only deploy teleoperation where the 5G infrastructure is available. So it's a little bit chicken and egg and so on. And we really have to come to solutions where together we define the way forward in creating, promising, realizing business at the same moment that the investments are being done by the actors that are involved.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for this message. Indeed, cooperation here is key. Then lastly, from 5G Rail, any recommendation, anything that you can share with us?
Yes, it is okay, more adapted to our context. So to give in documents, in white papers, more guidelines what is next in the future. This one also to. Okay, to take care of all the deliverables, because in our case we're yeah, but this you know it to I think you have done demos. We have done also by the end, and this was an important part because people they realize the complex situation. I think yes, that's all from our part, because the context yes is particular for the railways. So yeah.
Yes,
Especially to build the future by giving guidelines and things like that. After, okay, we have the 5GSA, which is not a lot deployed yet, which is part of our context also. But this, okay, I think is a matter of time, and this is also for all the other projects as well. Of course, the railways, they will try to have their own infrastructure, but yeah, this is valid for
yes. So focus on contributing to the relevant actors within Europe, and also focusing on try to have a clearer follow-up after the projects. So
yes,
thank you for this. Thank you for these lessons learned. So this concludes this first introductory roundtable. I think we are just slightly below 25 minutes, which was the target time. So we are doing okay. I hope this trend continues to the next roundtable, which we will start immediately.
We will jump into the second roundtable right now. So yes, let's go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so much.
yeah, stay connected.
Sure.
And in 10 seconds, you will enter in the second roundtable.
Excellent.